What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, the Lady LMR. We are here for the From episode. What is this? 9, 8, 8. What is it? 9 or 8
Uh,
coming up? Eight,
coming up
right?
8, but we were on 7. Oh my gosh, I don't know. You
It's
caught
been
me
a
off
long.
guard, Tony. I thought
It's
it was
going
7.
by really fast. So I
Yeah,
think this is episode 8 coming up. I'm pretty sure it
coming
is.
up. Yeah.
This is the episode 8 prediction stream. We'll get LMR's feelings about episode 7. And as
Yeah.
always, when LMR's in the building, you know what it is.
You're muted, Tony. And yeah.
Is it all right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it never gets old for me hearing that and doing that stuff. I love it. Everything else. All right, so it's gonna be hard for me to highlight people because, again, this program is just fucking up the shit in the bed melon. They sold it, it seems like, and ever since they did, it seems like there's some wrong with it and buggy and laggy and all that. I may just have to switch back to StreamYard, but let's not harp on that. Let's go through the people who are actually here rocking us. We got Malika in the building rocking with us. C10 is in the building rocking with us. Rocking with us. Emily is up in here rocking with us. Chicken Marcel, good dish. I kind of like that myself. Is in here rocking with us. Big Daddy is up in here rocking with us. Carla Wave, all the way from the land down under, is up in here. Sean M is up in here rocking with us. Nisha is in here. Erin is that yes, Aaron, right? Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, different spelling. I've never seen that spelling of it before. But what up? What up? What up? Megan Smith is up in here. Too grown for you is in the building, rocking with us. I did see our girl Mika in here earlier. I don't see her highlighted now, but I think she is in the building, rocking with us as always. Toog is up in here and everything. Is rocking with us. Oh wait, Callie is up in here. Why so curious is up in here. We got a bunch of people rocking with us, and I Percy Garcia is in here, and there is Amika in the building rocking with us right there, and everything else. Perfect. Thank you all for coming out here and rocking with us. We'll get some more shots later and everything. Make sure we have over 125 people right off the bat starting. So hit that thumbs up for your boy and your lady up in here so that we can get this thing popping and get this going out. All right, Elmar, last episode.
Mhm.
How did you like it?
I did like it a lot. It was a little bit. I wanted things to go faster. They were kind of stretching it out, like teasing us with this and that. But I did like it. There were a couple things I wanted to see a little bit more of some stuff. But what they showed me, I did enjoy it a lot. What about you, Tony?
I did. I thought it was it better than the week before episode? It's hard to tell. It was close.
Hmm.
But they definitely stretched out that whole autopsy situation
Hmm.
going down. They stretched that out as far as you can stretch it. I mean, it was every scene a little bit this, a little bit this, a little bit this. And then at the end, we
Yep.
finally got there in the end. So, yeah, I did like it and everything. I thought it was a great episode, but I agreed that it was 100% stretched out and
Hmm.
everything else. And they could have probably made it a little bit faster and everything up. And thank you for Emily Siegel for the super chat off the bat. And probably freeze me for doing it. It says, thanks, Tony and Elamar. Hit that thumbs up for it. And definitely do that. And thank you for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, shout out that. We got a bunch of new emojis in there, so make sure you use those emojis that we got. The more members we get, the more emojis we can put out there, and we'll have some more. We'll have some more con news in a little bit later on in the episode. So make sure you stay with us and don't leave. You want to hear some news about the con that is definitely happening next year in June. So that is going to happen. It's going to be a great time. All right. We've seen some craziness. Let's just get right into it.
Yeah.
At the end, right? We see our boy Elgin, who will be on with us this Sunday. So we'll have Elgin on, and we're gonna talk to him about it. Number one, he had a damn potato sack and wearing a potato sack in the tub. There's no need for that shit to be in the bathtub with a potato sack. Elamar, have you ever been in the bathtub with your top on before?
Um, no, I've been in a, body of water with my, something besides my swimsuit, but not a bathtub. I was a little bit disappointed. No, not a little bit. I was disappointed to see that in general. Like a little bit surprised too. Like, why would somebody go in there with their clothes on?
Yeah, look, bro. In case he's watching, I want you to know, Don. I don't care what you wear. I'll be honest. I don't care. You can rock whatever you want to rock. You know what I mean. But I'm just saying, in general, it was a potato sack. You know what I mean. There's no need to have potato sack on there and everything else, and in there. And we seen a figure hand
Mhm.
pull him underneath there and hold him
Yeah.
underneath the water. First, was that reality or was that just a dream?
I think for all of them, it's in their head. It's This is what they're seeing. It was quite disturbing to see that and to hear that. I don't know what sounds that person was making, but it kind of like threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. To me, it has to be a dream. We have not seen any of these things so far. And thank you, Micah, for the donation. We truly appreciate that. We have not seen anybody do anything in such like a matter where we've seen that music box and it has not been a dream. Every time, as since Boyd has left that place he was at, anytime we've seen the music box, it has been a dream.
Mhm.
Right. So now we have to ask the question: did Boyd really see that music box in there, or was that a dream? Also, what was all that? I mean, it couldn't have all been because also we have Martin seeing it too, because he said specifically when the
Yeah.
music box stops, that's when they come back.
That's a great point. I like, I wonder at what point is he dreaming? And where is it that he actually, let's say if all of it was a dream, even if like him being in that very close space was a dream,
Hmm.
that was way too long to be a dream, first of all. I mean, to me, it looks like it's like we were waiting a season to find out. But then at what point is it a so-called reality, whatever we call a reality, whatever the norm is over there? That must have been a long dream because I have not seen any of these people having that long of a dream. So I wonder at what point it was the so-called reality and at what point it was a dream. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Yeah, because all right, so let's go. Let's try to tackle that whole thing with Martin, since we're talking about dreams and everything else. So let's just say that whole thing is a dream. Now you can easily say, how could it be a dream? Martin's seen it too. Well, if Martin's in a dream,
Mhm.
then Martin would see it, right? Martin would be a dream then too. All that would be a dream,
Yeah.
everything there. But we know that he did walk out of there with those blood worms
Yeah.
in his arm. So that part was real. So it starts to ask the question if it's an is it a dream or not? If it was a dream, then you could easily say, "Oh, the rope got down there. Why? Because it was a dream. That's why I got down there." You don't have to have an answer for it. Just got down there. You know what I mean? So it all depends. But to me, the only reason I would say it's not a dream is because when he left with that torch and he brought
Mhm.
that back into the real world. And I kind of think that most likely they used that, you know what I mean, as an anchoring point to let you know that this just wasn't a dream, that this part right
Mhm.
here is really happening. So I do think that that was reality, that whole situation that went down in there. But
Makes sense.
I could understand why people would think that it's a dream because every other time since then, and we have seen that music box, we have seen dreams from it. Now, dealing with the music box some more, we also seen now that Christy's girlfriend sees the music box.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think she's seeing this music box? What's going on with the music box?
Um, so we see like right now there are three people that have seen it, right? Boyd,
Yeah.
Marielle, was it Marielle?
It's like Marielle,
Mariella, and
Marielle.
then Elgin, right? Three
Mhm.
people. I wonder why these three, and like what is it about them that they're seeing that versus somebody else? I have not thought about that before. Hmm.
Yeah, Zay, thank you for rocking from Brazil. We love Brazil. You know, we love all the women and the men. Not, I mean, I don't love the men. I love the guys who's cool with me, but yeah, I love the women. I love all those men.
Brazil, very hot, a very warm country.
It is very nice, cousin. I got much love for you over there in Brazil. Thank you. All right. So, yes. And listen, yeah, join the Discord. We do have a Discord that is called Escaping from Discord. Join the Discord. Me and Phil represent it. You know, we don't run it. Our boy Betrayed King is the one who runs it, but it is our official Discord, and updates and things like that we will put down there. We will have him put down in there, especially things dealing with the con will all go up in there. So make sure you're a member of that Discord, and make sure you don't just run away when the season's over so that you can get everything's going down. So let's go through it real quick. How could they all see what's going on up in there? Now, we could easily say that Tilly came in there with those drugs, dropped it off. We seen her girlfriend take some of those drugs. So
Mhm.
that could have been spiked up with something and allowed her to see these things. But then that wouldn't explain Elgin. Right now, if Elgin was on morphine too, then we'd have it lock, stock, barrel. That's what's going on here. But the fact that
Mm.
Elgin is seeing it too, it makes me think that it might most likely be something else besides that. It's hard to see what Elgin was taking, but the one thing we do know is that he was stealing food. Now, I mean, that's my opinion. He was stealing food for Sarah,
Mhm.
and he got bagged, and that's what got this dude stabbed up in the chest. You know what I mean? But it could be the food. It could be, and I always thought that the food was suspect. And we heard Donna say stuff about poison soil. I always thought that it was just a craziness in the food line. So what do you think about the food itself?
They have that place. I keep thinking of it as a place where you have a very controlled environment. Everything there is controlled. So if they wanted to, like, I don't know exactly how much they can control the area around them. Let's say water supply. I would say that they would have access to drug anybody, not even needing the tea. They can put whoever oversees this, they can put that stuff in the water, like, what's in the water kind of thing. Now the tea, I think again that's part of something that's happening. But as far as food, when you mentioned Donna, it reminded me of, I still think she's, one of the people who is part of this, like part of that experiment. And isn't she always there in that greenhouse? Like, how long does it take? Like, I have a lavender in the backyard, and one of them, I think I poured too much of the fertilizer in there, and I think that's why it's dying. One of the pots is dying, so it's so easy to just kill your crop. I did it not even knowing when that I made a mistake, and it's like dying, withering, and all that. It's just couple drops, and everything can die. So to kill your supplies, it's not like, oh, something horrible has to happen. And those things are in containers. It's not like it's in the dirt. Those things are dying in containers, right?
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, weather, too much water. You have a greenhouse. It's
Mhm.
a controlled place in a controlled place. So something is up. Somebody's destroying the food.
It was very convenient that she wasn't there when Ellis got
Right?
stabbed up. It was pretty convenient that she wasn't there. Maybe Ellis needed to go. Maybe she wanted Ellis to die, or the people that are controlling it. Listen, again, I've said it from the jump. If you have to start looking at moles in this situation, Donna has to be top of the list. You got to
Yeah,
put it there. There's
I
certain
would love it.
factors you have to have to be the mole, and she has to be top of the list. Victor, thank you for super chat. He says, I think the visions/nightmares will start harming or affecting them physically and controlling them. That will be a new terror that they will have to face. Um, affecting them. I think it has affected them, right? To the point where we look
Yeah.
at Marielle, she's waking up in cold sweat. She's breathing hard. I mean, we have night terrors like that in our
Yep.
world that make you do those things, raise your heart rate and everything else, right? Um, it would have to be something like if you ever seen the movie Golden Child, right? If you ever seen that movie, Golden Child, Eddie Murphy is in it, and he is in a dream sequence, and the whole thing is a dream until the monster then scars his arm and puts like a tattoo scar on his forearm, and he
Mm.
wakes up and that tattoo thing is still on his forearm. I
Mm.
would think it would be something more like that, how the dreams would affect more than anything else. If it's going to be like some part is dream, some part is real inside of it, and
Mhm.
everything else, So, but that's the way I would look. But Donna is definitely suspect. She's in charge of the food supply. Same reason why you have to look at Kenny's mom too. She's in those in charge of
Right.
the food can tell. You know what I mean? But yet it was funny because you would think that Donna would have then found the food. She never found it. She stayed there all that time with no food. Like she stayed there that whole time until Boyd came and discovered the
Yeah.
food. So all these people died and everything else did that and everything else, you know what I mean? And then at the end, she let Boyd find it. You know what I mean? You would think that that would be something else. And yes, let me give my condolences to the people, the families, the members out in Canada. I think it's Quebec and throughout Canada. Let's just say that in Nova Scotia,
Mm.
Quebec, there's a bunch of wildfires going on out there, and these wildfires are so deep. I mean, it's smoking all the way in upstate New York. You could smell the smoke all the way down here, so it must be so terrible for them. If I'm all these miles away and it's still affecting me, then this must be terrible over there. So prayers be with everybody out there, all our friends on the other side of the border in Canada, and hopefully they get through this as soon as possible. Let's get some rain going out there for them down there, and they need it right now, and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Going on with the Donna situation.
Yeah, Tony, you mentioned something about like my thoughts when it came to Ellis and him being hurt. Um, again, this episode that I rewatched it, just I was so curious about Donna. Again, like we're not supposed to look for evidence, to support our theories. That's not a scientific way to do. But I'm not at work right now, so I can do whatever I want. And I'm looking at the show, looking at how Donna is doing, and she said to Alice when she brought all this food, like this was not supposed to happen. And as scientists, it oftentimes it happens that oopsies, this is something that happened out of technically our control. This was not supposed to happen. So the way she said it, like all her lines, when I combine them, they're just very, very like Donna, I'm onto you. Like if the writers are not intending for her to be somebody who knows about this, they're doing a great job because I'm having a blast listening to her and dissecting all the conversations she has, and like, oh, this was not supposed to happen, or when she's in the greenhouse saying, like, getting so excited about the pregnancy. I'm like, that's how I would react if I had a science experiment going on. Like, oh my gosh, you're pregnant. I'm so happy. My thing worked. Whatever the thing is.
Mhm.
It's so fun.
No doubt about it. And like, let me give a shout out to Mika who sent the super chat through the Cash App. Thank you so much for it. There was no question there and everything else, but I appreciate that 100%. When you look at Donna and the food, and when you look at the actress, and when the actress came on, she was our first guest of the season. For episode 1, she came on. She was the first one who came on. And I told her, on the air, I told her straight up that she's on my hit list. That if someone was going to get killed this season, that I would not want her to die, but
Mhm.
she does check the boxes. Like if someone dies here, it's got to be someone that's going to make someone emotional. And I do think a
Mhm.
major character has to die.
Yeah.
So, when I look at these major characters dying, Donna, I think, would tug at everyone's heartstrings the most if she
Mhm.
died. So now you have to put her on that list. If she's the mole, and that takes some of that away. You know what I mean, right there. So
Does it? Do you think it does? Like,
It
if
does.
she
It's
goes
probably like
away, I mean,
dirty.
can they switch? Like, and she's like, "Oh, I'm here in this experiment, but then they take me out, and oh, I would love to be part of it." And do you think that it's something, like, if she was the mole and they kill her off, will we ever find out that she was a mole? Do you know? Like, do you think they would do
Mhm.
that?
I think yeah, it takes away. Yeah, you're evil now. That's it, That's just the way it goes and everything. You're evil. You can't just get that back. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Doesn't matter all
Mm,
the stuff you did if you were doing it for the wrong reasons, and now all of a
mm,
sudden you want to change your mind. A good deed doesn't wash away the bad, as Stanley
yeah.
Baratheon likes to say.
Mm,
Right. So it would be no, she would still be dirty. It wouldn't have the same effect. For us, it's not seeing the actress anymore than it would, but not for the
yeah.
show purposes. Next on there, I would say I said Ellis had a strong possibility of dying, and he got stabbed and he didn't die. I thought it, so. I was on that one. He didn't get it right, so he's out. Fatima. Now we look at this creature at the end. That's Fatima. Now I know a lot of people are saying that it's not, and everything else, and whoever's saying it, they're wrong. There's no doubt that this creature that's holding this dude under the water is Fatima. That's her. There's
Hmm.
no doubt about it. That is her in zombie form or whatever you want to call it. Make no doubt about it. That is Fatima. No doubt about it. What do you think, Ella?
Hmm. I was I watched that scene twice, and every time I probably should watch it without any sound on, because that sound, I don't know if it was like crying, hollering,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, it really it was disturbing. So I was more concentrating and being not so called mesmerized, but just kind of like just shocked by the sounds that it was making. Not even by the appearance, but the sounds. I don't know. I mean, she does look like now what do we have here? The hair, it seems a little bit shorter. It's
It,
straight.
I mean, it's not all on screen though.
Yeah.
It's not like they're showing a full head
Yeah.
here. You know what I mean? It
Now is
it
that a robe? What is
It is
that?
it is a robe, but it's the same style of robe that she wears. In fact, the colors are just about the
Mhm.
same that she was wearing this episode, just a little bit less wiped out.
Hmm. Not sure. I mean, again, this is a very definitely, dried out mummy like looking creature
Mhm.
or a person like thing. Hmm.
Also, you gotta remember
Ah,
that the clothes that people wear here are usually
yeah.
hand-me-downs, right? They're
True.
usually clothes that are already been there. So this is a type of a robe that she likes to wear. It's the same type
Hmm.
robe. It just looks like it's faded because this person looks like they've been drowned. They look like they died
Right.
in the water. And I think,
Yeah.
again, I've said this before, and I came up with the theory. And I see a lot of people now jumping on the bandwagon on the theory, and that's what happens. Elmar knows. It's usually what happens. I come up with these things. A lot of people jump on these YouTubers like to jump on, which is fine.
Mhm.
Just fine. But they should still say where they got it from. In the end, this is a straight time loop. All these people are here from alternate dimensions. This is an ultimate dimension of her who has already died. All of them have already been there and died and came back, and they keep bringing new people in from alternate
Hmm.
dimensions. And that's what this is right here. But this time is going to be different because they're going to get more answers this time. You would have a shadow of a doubt.
Hmm.
And it is aliens on Stay Gold 42. There's no doubt that we're dealing with aliens here.
Yeah, there
Guaranteed.
was a reference to a spaceship, wasn't there?
Yes.
Julie mentioned something about a spaceship. So why would they say that if it's
Let them keep thinking what they think, Elamar. We know it's aliens. It's a done deal that it's aliens running it and messing in with this thing. So it is what it is. I do think that the aliens could be, you know what I mean, could be being held prisoner. You know what I mean? But this is Fatima. When you have an alternate dimension, all right, that's the whole thing about it. So let me explain to you about the alternate dimensions and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do a video and explain everything to you on my next video, and I'll bust it right out there and prove it once and for all. Thank you, Luna, for the super chat. We'll get to it in 1 second. When you deal with alternate dimensions, everything is the same, but some things are slightly different of the person. Like You could say like sometimes you could be in an alternate dimension and someone, instead of being born a man, you could be born a woman. Or in your dimension you could wear blue, but in the other dimension they could wear red. Still you, but just in a different color. It's always something slightly different, like they did in Doctor Strange when they went to the one dimension. All the stoplights, you went on red and green was stop. It's always something slightly different. So in this Fatima, in this dimension, it has the same style, but the clothes a little bit muted. Hair is a little bit shorter. It's things like that that makes it, but it's definitely Fatima from a different dimension, and she drowned like everyone else is about to get drowned. But this time, the people who do the drowning are not going to be successful. Not everyone's going to die like they normally do.
Hmm.
And that's what's going on, and that's what it is. But this time, it's not going to work. Their little plan and everything will not work as it has normally worked for them all in the past. Let's say thank you. Thank you for the super chat from Nisi. I appreciate that, Nisi, 100%. Thank you for the super chat sent to from Streon. Let's look at this pic right here. And it says, what if we're looking at the mole theory wrong? What if the mole is a helper but can't reveal themselves as not to be disrupt the experiment valid request? I think that the reason why this wouldn't work is because if they're a mole, then that means they work for the people that are there. And if there are people that were there, they knew they were there, they would most likely take them out. What do you think, Elmo?
And part of experiments, it's what is it called a double blind study where people don't know that they're being experimented on or watched, and then the watchers don't know who it is. I mean, that's a very simplified and probably slightly incorrect there, but like it's both sides are of that doing the observing are blind to what they're doing. They don't know stuff. But being aware, being in there, just a mole being there, knowing that they are the mole is already affecting the entire experiment because they know that what this is in some way. They have that extra information that the people in the from village they don't know that. So it's almost impossible to for the subjects being watched to not realize that they're being watched. There will be somebody giving that theory saying, hey, I think this is an experiment, this is a conspiracy. And that by itself is skewing the results. So it's almost impossible unless the people watching it, whoever's watching it on the outside, they don't know what they're supposed to be watching. So they're not looking for anything in particular. They're just watching it and, reporting on the data. But I don't why would somebody put a helper mole in there to help people? That would completely mess up the experiment.
Yeah, so I think what she's trying to say is that somehow someone who was running an experiment must have escaped to help save these people,
Um,
or maybe they're working for them, but instead of gathering the information, they're actually trying to help these people also. But I would think that if they really wanted to help them, they could just tell them how to get the fuck out,
right.
or give
It's
them
so simple.
a big hint
Whisper.
to get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
stuff like that. So I don't think it's the other way around, but I do think that's a valid point. Zay says, have you ever noticed how the mustard yellow is always evident in specific points during scenes? The
Mm,
same shade of yellow as the monster's bile. This color
right.
appears strategically from the first. Let me try to think of when this
Yeah.
color came up
The
besides bile.
sweater of that very attractive lady that you were really upset about leaving. We were all so upset that
Yeah.
she was killed off. She had that sweater on.
Yeah, that was a mustard yellow sweater. That was the
Yeah.
one that Fatima wanted, that she stole from
Mm-hmm.
Fatima. That was mustard yellow. There has to be more mustard yellow than that. It has to be other things. Let's think of Jade. Is Jade anything Jade have that's mustard yellow?
The colors of the background on the cave was kind of yellowish, and that background cave that Boyd was in, it was more of a yellowish tone in there. I don't
Mhm.
know, maybe just the tones were very yellow, mustardy yellow in that cave.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
dungeon.
I agree. That was. I'll have to go look. Jade's new shirt is saying it's yellow, uh, and he's about to figure out
Hmm.
what's going on with that thing in a second. Uh, and that could be it, and everything else. So, Tony, you forgot there are two sides of aliens. That's how one side can be helping as a All right, so we don't know if there's two sides of aliens. We got to look at the exact thing that we talked about a little bit before, and that is, let me throw this down so they can see us a little bit better. All right, and that is that we have the creatures, the nightmare creatures is one.
Hmm.
We have the human beings, that's number two. We have the voices that are talking to Sarah, that's three. And then we have the head of the spear, it's four. Now, we don't know if the head of the spear is aliens, and we don't know if the people talking to Sarah are aliens. I think the people talking to Sarah are aliens, and the people at the head of the spear are regular human beings who caught aliens and just using them for their own thing. That's what I think, and everything else. So, uh that is what it is. And that's where I think of it. You know what I mean? So there's four groups of people that we're dealing with here.
So you said human. Well, I'm saying humans. The people who are
I,
in
yeah,
there.
I'm sorry. The tip of the spear is the monster. I meant the
Monster.
people holding the spear,
Oh, okay.
not the tip of the spear. The holding the spear. The
Yeah.
tip of the spear is a monster. The monsters are the pawns and stuff. So that's what I mean. There's four people.
Okay.
Thinkers think. He says it's not aliens, but Tony, you do have a lot of things right. I do have a lot of things correct. I know that without a doubt. I mean, you can just go back and look, and we'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I think I'm right. I think we did everything else. I got a lot of shit right already. Even if I was wrong
Hmm.
on that, it still wouldn't take away all the other stuff I got right. I just about got that whole trailer right, everything about it. Point blank, I got the worms that were worms in Boyd's arm. I didn't know they were worms, but I knew there was something in his arm. No one else got that. I got that he was in the well before anyone else got in the well. I figured that out. I got the whole scene when he broke out and everything else. I got that right. I mean, I can go over too much stuff for me to pick right now. Other
Yeah.
things I got and everything right and everything else. But in the end, we'll see what happens with the aliens. I do think it is. You know what I mean? I know people want me to be wrong because you really want me to eat that hot chip. And if I am wrong, I will eat the hot chip live on there. I'm not playing with you. I'll eat the hot chip on air, or if you like, I will eat the hot chip if I'm wrong live at the convention
Oh no.
next year in front of everyone. So there's no debating that I actually do it or anything else and all that good stuff. That's just what it is and stuff. But we'll see. And so since I brought up LMR, we'll talk a little bit real quick about
Yeah.
the convention. And let me hide this guy, this lady on stream. So it's just again. So if you were not around and you're not, and you don't know what we're talking about, we are having a From convention. It's going to be called FromCon. It will be next year in June. It will be held in Nashville, and I'm running it.
I heard the good news. I just heard the good news. I was so excited.
Elamar's rocking with me. Phil the Issues guys are rocking with me. I will have the exact location where it's going to be held in Nashville probably within 2 weeks. The website's being built right now, and after that, you know what I mean. We'll have we'll have it up there, and then you just sign up for it and everything else, and it's going to be a 3-day event. And it's going to be a great time. I have so many
So
things
excited.
planned on it and everything else, and it's going to be a great time. We will have actors from the show there that will take pictures and sign autographs. We will have panels. We'll have a main stage and everything else. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait to meet all of you in person and everything else. We're going to have more. There's going to be more things in there. Anything so. You know what I mean? So, that's what's going to be and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see you all there next year. Again, I could have ran it this year, December or something like that, but I didn't want to rush it. So we're going to do it next year. It's going to be in Nashville. It's going to be an amazing time. So I can't wait to see you on here at FromCon 1. Let's call it 1 because we hope that we're going to do 2, 3, 4, and as many as we can go. It's going to be a great time. Guarantee you it's going
Wonderful
to be
news.
and we're gonna have a bunch of panels. And listen, I'm not just gonna be me, Phil, and Lamar, even though we could do them all, but we don't want to do them all. We're gonna show some love to other podcasters and other YouTubers who cover this show, so that they can have their own panels too. And you get to know their channels and them in person, and they're going to do live. So we'll also be doing a live escaping from podcast from there and everything else. So you can all join in. We'll do that and everything. But besides, it's going to be a great time. We're going to have drinks. We already have it planned out. There'll be special drinks. We'll have special alcohol. All these will be alcoholic drinks. We'll have Kenny's mom's tea as a drink. we will have the bile as a drink.
Oh my gosh.
Too. We'll have the bile will be a drink. We already talked about that. We'll have these special alcoholic drinks, in memory of everything else and of the show and everything else. We'll also have a costume contest. So whoever will have a day with a costume contest. So whoever has the best costumes, will win a prize. We're talking about like $250 to the best costume and everything else. So it's going to be a great time. Again, no, it's not going to be the Jacob Javits Center. It's not going to be in New York. It's going to be in Nashville. It's going to be in Nashville. So that's what it is. So we'll get more information as it goes by. If stay subscribed to the channel, because I'll be dropping it, and also the Escaping from Discord. Join that, and we'll let everything else go on and everything else. Yeah, we'll have Tom's vodka in there too, but it won't taste like piss water. We'll have that in there too. I promise you that. So that is what it will be. But start playing it June next year.
Very exciting. And definitely Tony knows all about cons, knows about everything about panels and how to entertain everyone. So anybody who joins us will have an amazing time, an unforgettable time. That is for sure.
Guarantee it. So it is what it is. We'll have a great time. And this is going to be, it's going to be a great time. And as for like people, listen, there's going to be sets built. I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but if you ever wanted to go and sit down in the diner and take a picture in it, you're going to have that opportunity to do that. If you ever wanted to go into Colony House, into a room and sit there and take a picture, you're going to have a chance to do that. You ever wanted to go into the box and take a picture in the box, you're going to have a chance to do that. All right. I'm not giving away no more. No more. But I will tell you that those sets will be there inside the place and everything else. So it's going to be a great time. And you know what I mean? Make sure you join the Escaping from Discord and everything else. All right. It's going to be a great time. I promise you. And you get to meet me, Lamar, Phil Issues Guy, and all the actors that we have there, right? Live, right? On person. So how much better is that? Can that be and stuff? And by then next year, Jesus, I'll be a monster. I will be a monster from working out. So when you see me next year, it's gonna be on. Let's take this from Jason H right here. He says, "Do you think the woman from the tub is the same as the woman with the red eyes and the mouth in Victor's drawing?"
Wow. I did not think about that in that drawing. It's a scary lady in a drawing. Yeah.
All right. So,
Huh.
yeah, now it makes me want to go find that drawing. No, I have it.
Yeah.
Can I find it?
The hair and the face. Although that lady that you were showing didn't she have like yellowish eyes or like dark, like no color in there?
I do have it under Victor's drawings. Let me see if I can find it. Then Shane is it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. A scary lady, they're saying, right?
Yeah. She looked scary. Hair was messed up. Not sure if her like fingernails and like claws were there, maybe. A lot of scary drawings. Victor has a lot of nightmares, or if, yeah.
I don't think I have that picture. Which one is this? Not talking about the one of Ellis and Fatima. He didn't draw that.
No, there was one where I think it was just a lady there, or I'm saying lady, a woman like creature.
I mean, there's one like upside down, like a black but you can't see
Mm.
anything in their face. But
In
as
that
for
picture, I recall dark hair, like messed up hair.
don't have that
Yeah.
picture. So I'm going through them now and looking through them all.
Hmm.
I don't see it. So I don't have it either. It's not there. Or I just don't have it, which would be weird because I usually have all of his pictures. So
Hmm.
I would have to. If you're thinking about the one where Ellis is painting, Ellis painted that. Yeah, I know people can't get confused. Victor's only the crayon. Ellis does
Mhm.
painting too. Just like if you look at the one above the bed with Fatima and all that, and people are saying that that's Fatima in that form. There's two pictures there of her. There's actually three pictures there. I can't be in the intro because I there's a picture of someone with bleeding eyeballs in there in the picture,
Yeah.
but I don't think that that's that or anything else like that. So I can't
I'm
really
looking for
see
it
it.
too.
Stephanie says $5. Let's go to FromCon. Yes, right. Let's go next year.
Mhm.
We'll all be there. Let's have a great time. The number one thing you can do when the website goes up is to pre-order your ticket. That's what you want to do. I'm
Mhm.
be straight up. You pre-order your ticket, and the more money we working with, the more money we could throw into this whole situation. You have a 100% guarantee that if something crazy happened, you get your money back. You don't have to worry about that. In fact, no money will be taken away from you until the week the cons fully go. It's just to establish how many people we got, so we could plan on how big of a place I have to get and everything else and all that. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying about everything else. And thank you for the super chat. Luna has another super chat. Thank you so much, Luna. And it says, it says talking about time folding, right? If so, the tip of the spear could be from, using the word from,
Mm.
other dimensions breaking through, making it seem like visions and dreams. Now, I've said this before, not for this show, but for other things that in real life, I've said that what if when you're dreaming, that's really you seeing through the eyes of someone in the alternate dimension.
Hmm.
Like, what if that's what your dreams really are? I'm talking about reality. I mean, I've thought about this and I've talked about this like in real life. Like, what if, because in dreams, you see people, like I dream about people I've never seen before in my life, right? And whether I'm making out with them or hanging out with them, I dream about, people I've never seen before. And then I start looking for them, like in the real world, like who are these people? So I started thinking, like, what if this is really you
Mm.
tapping into an alternate universe of yourself?
Hmm.
And maybe when you see yourself full, that's an alternate universe of yourself dying or someone else dying in an alternate universe. And maybe things like that are happening. So that's what I've thought about in my real life. So I think that, that could be a thing like that. What if that is the case, Elamar? What do you think?
Well, dreams are definitely something. They're not. I realize that not everybody actually dreams. Technically, dreams, or not everybody remembers their dreams. When I dream, it's scary sometimes. The emotions I feel, like actual emotions, it takes some time. And I'm not talking about fear or just joy, but emotions altogether. It takes me some time, sometimes not every night, because that would be exhausting. But from time to time, to actually, it takes me like a couple hours to just, I know, I mean, when I wake up, it was just a dream, but the emotion that I felt stays in me. So, um if something like that is so real to the core, that like I don't know what dreams are. There, scientists say, dreams are, they're different, paths. Okay, this is your reaction to this. This is your what your wishful thinking, what your fears are. But this is just, some of the theories. There are theories where it can be something different. We're actually going, we're like projecting ourselves somewhere else, not into, some people say we were projecting ourselves into different places on Earth. Why stop at Earth? If some people are saying projecting yourself, what's stopping us from realizing that it may be a projection to a different dimension.
I've had dreams. I'm dead ass too. I've had dreams where I'd seen myself sleeping and I was able to recall everything that would happen around me. And it was
Yeah.
right. Like I was dreaming, dead ass asleep, but I was able to see everything
Mhm.
that was around me because I was out of my body looking at myself sleep. And anyone who came in the room and did anything else, I remembered everything and seen everything, and it's been 100% on point. I've
Mhm.
been in dreams where I've tried to wake up and I could feel myself trying to open my eyes, and I can't open my eyes, like it just
Mhm.
don't go. Like my eyes, and I can feel it. Like open my eyes,
Yeah.
and I could feel myself trying to open them, and they don't go. And then I have to just calm down. Like, all right, stop trying to open your eyes, calm down, and then I'll snap out of it and wake
Right.
up. I've had that happen. So no, dreams is weird. You know what I mean? There's dreams are definitely weird, and a lot of things do happen in dreams. Again, when dealing with dreams, we have heard dreams in this show many a time. We heard it from Boyd's wife say they were dreaming. We heard Martin say, "What if she was right? What if this is all just a dream?" Right?
And Donna, what did she say? There's I'm just paraphrasing, like a fine line between what is it? What she call it? A nightmare and
Yeah.
no. What did she say?
Nightmare in
Nightmare
Paradise, like it's up
and
the
prayer.
other,
Something like
it's the
yeah,
flip side. Like it's the flip side. A
yeah,
miracle is the other
miracle,
side,
miracle, and a
is the other
nightmare.
side of the nightmare. And if you look
Yeah,
at Donna's house, there's nothing but dream catchers all around. Like she has dream catchers
right.
all around that colony house. Big ass dream catchers are in there.
A lot of this stuff about dreams and um the song. I think there was at least one song, if that, on the I think outro has the or something. One of the not the beginning, but somewhere in there, there's this song about dreaming, right? I think at least one of them. So
Mhm.
a lot of that stuff, like why would they put that there just to make us think, oh, is it a dream? But maybe to actually tell us that this is, dream, but what are dreams? If it's a dream, yeah, sure, okay, it's a dream, but what are dreams? Like tapping
Mhm.
into that, like harnessing the power of the dream. It's scary, and I know some people they don't believe in, dream. I go to sleep, I wake up, and I don't remember what happened. The scary part in my dreams, I mean, I'm used to it now, but it's and every time, thank God, when I dream of something and then it happens, that's the scary part. I'm like, oh, great, I just dreamt about that. And it's so often that it's kind of like, okay, it's happening again. So, in our lives, it's very
Well,
unexplained part
and,
too.
and as for dreams, dreams do affect your regular life. Listen, every
Hmm.
man in here, unless you're a child, whatever, at some point, I remember I had mine. I think I was in fifth, sixth grade. When you have your first wet dream, you don't have them on a regular basis, but that's when it happens. When you wake up and you find out that you can make babies, right? I remember that happening to me. I don't know, Elmar, you have a son. I don't know if you
I do.
actually, if he's experienced or talked to you about it, or if he went to his dad and talked to him about it. Hey, love you too, Zay. Good night. Have a good night. But those things happen. It's a dream affecting the reality world, right? And everything else. That's just a way of life. You know what I mean? That's just the way it goes and stuff. So dreams do affect you. There's people who had dreams and pissed the bed because of the dreams,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everything else. So dreams do affect the physical world. It could be the same situation dealing with here. If they could somehow tap into someone's dreams and get it to affect the real world, it could be a situation like that going on here. I mean, it's so many possibilities for this show that would not be far fetched that if they said, oh, this is blah, 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 for the fact that we have things like that happens in dreams. But if they were able to magnify it and everything else and make it 10 times more, then we'll see what's going on and stuff like that there
Mm-hmm.
and all that good stuff. But yeah, so as for Elgin inside the tub with this chick, we'll show it again. Do we come to a conclusion that do we think that this is Fatima? Oh no.
I'm still not sure, but
Right.
I know what you mean. But I'm still not sure for whatever reason. When I'm looking at this robe, I'm thinking something kind of like Oriental,
Yeah. All right. So
I do own something like that, but not that, mine is pretty and not like, wash and not the colors, but it's kind of
let,
like, with
let me
flowers and
see.
such.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah. I'm just seeing not roses, but was it like oh, not roses, but what are they called? Cherry blossoms?
Uh-huh. This is all messed up now. Let me see. You don't do you see anything anymore? No.
I am looking at different Bitmojis or different characters.
Oh, all right. So I'm all over the place here. You're well on this one then. Where is it? See, it's just why is it not? Oh, there you go. All right, that's my arrow. I think it would be this way then. All right, so right
Mhm.
here, this is Fatima from the show this week. You can see her, right?
Ah, there we go. Can you zoom in on you can oh, that's the shirt you're talking about.
Yeah,
Oh, if you could just get her hair to the side so I can see if there's flowers over there. That makes sense. Yeah.
this is her from the
Mm.
this is the episode where they showed that chick. All right,
Mhm.
this is the kimono style dress.
Yeah.
Shirt. It has flowers on it. All right, that's what it's again. So now let's
Mhm.
go back to this. When we look at her there, it's a kimono style dress that does have flowers on it. It looks like it was the same color but faded.
Can you flip to the other one again?
I can't.
I'm just looking at the how it's and zoom in a little bit. I'm just like looking at the neckline. This one has kind of, but no, I get what you mean. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if they're trying to just make it very similar. Ugh, yeah. But hair is just like right there in that spot where I need to look at it. Right? And I'm wondering like how the color is on her, like if there are buttons on this shirt or if it's more like a robe kind of situation there. But even if this is just this one, if this shirt is different than the other piece of clothing, this is her style. So technically she could own something like that and just have it in, in her bedroom.
Well, again, if it's an alternate universe, as we talked about a little bit
Mhm.
before, things are the same but just slightly different, right? It's just a slightly different thing about it. So it's the same style, but it's just a slightly different look of that style. And it looks like it's the exact same color. If this color, I
Mm.
think this woman was drowned. So if you put this woman and put her in the water and you drowned it out, and it would
Mhm.
take away the color, would take away the brightness of all the colors if this was just soaking in the water all that time, right? So that's what I think we're looking at. Obviously, this person is drowned and their body has turned to this. And then they've been in that water for a long time. So you wouldn't have the same brightness as those
Yeah.
colors. I just can't see it being a coincidence that they had her wear the same thing in the same episode that this woman is in.
Hmm.
I can see if she wore it like 10 episodes ago, but she had different ones on in other episodes. This one, she had those colors on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder if they're trying to, make us think that too at the same time. The way I look at this, like when I don't know if you can zoom in on this one too. Uh the garment that she has on, it does look faded, but at the same time, it's it's not wrinkled. It's kind of like the edge on it is quite sharp. So I wonder what's up with that.
Yeah,
If it's
I
actually,
see.
yeah.
All right. If
Mm.
it's been under the what 100%, it should be wrinkled.
Yeah.
It should be that. I think that we could chalk that up to the costume department just
Okay.
not wrinkling shit down.
Yeah, we
You
do
know,
break stuff
because
down. Like we
if
will
that was
dissect
the case,
everything.
then all of the monsters are sleeping up
Yeah.
against the walls with their
Right, and they're
back on
so
the wall.
clean.
Their clothes would be
Yeah.
wrinkled as fuck too, but their shit is clean as hell, right?
Exactly. I agree. I agree. They do that. They do that. The bride or the milkman, I don't remember, but I don't remember exactly, but I in my memory there are not messed up looking zombies. They are like,
No, they are not. They do
clean,
not. They don't look like this.
pristine.
Yeah,
Even the
well, they
lady who cut out, um, um, oh goodness, I forgot her name. She bit out. She bit on her
yeah,
tongue.
Jasmine.
Jasmine, yes, a lovely lady. Her dress was just perfect. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
and when she
dress.
got blood on it, she tried to wipe
Right,
it off.
clean it up a little bit.
Yeah,
Hmm.
this woman is gaunt. Like she has no muscle or fat on her body. What you could see
Yeah.
every bone in her neck, every bone in her
Hmm.
chest. Her cheeks are flaring like she's missing a cheek on the left hand side. It's gone
Oh,
as if
yeah.
she was eaten underwater, like something was eating away at her, and everything else. I can't see that it's not being her. I just
Hmm.
can't see it. Has to be her. I mean, there's no way. It's coincidences in this world, and there's other things that they put there on purpose. But this
Hmm.
is 100% Fatima. I mean, I don't care anyone says it's definitely going to be her.
Yeah. And there's a comment from who was it? Looney Looney Vuitton. I love that name. Something, if I don't know if you can find it, just scrolled by a moment ago about her looking similar to or almost the same as Martin, kind of like dried out and stuff. Mm,
It's
yeah.
Louis Vuitton. Where is this? Oh, there it is.
Just yeah. I love the name.
Is this one who says, is this why she was so sad when Ellis proposed to her because she knew?
No, no. It said I'm gonna look for it somewhere. Here on this side, I have a hard time finding it. When I look at the chat that we see on the side here.
The Looney Vuitton is saying maybe she is the queen of worms.
Yeah, there was a comment about her looking similar to Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find it here on this
All
side.
right. So looking, she's not. No, Martin was still alive. He had blood in his body. This person has no blood in them. But you could look and see it's a different. This
Mm,
looks like a zombie. This looks like a straight zombie. Uh, you know what I mean? So it said he's. It says she Loki like she is suffering from the same fate as
yeah,
Martin, right? Maybe she is the source of the
yeah,
worms. That one,
yeah.
Omar.
That one he repeated it, or
Okay.
Looney Vuitton repeated the comment. Yes, that's the
All
one.
right. So I don't think she's the source of the worms. The worms are from outer space. I mean, we've heard Hannah come on this. It wasn't Hannah. It was Is that her name, Hannah? Yeah, Hannah. Hannah came on this channel, and she specifically said extraterrestrial parasites. The
Hmm.
words that came out of her mouth. She said that. I didn't say that. She said Boyd had extraterrestrial parasites in his body. That's what she said when she came on this channel. So I'm going with that. That's what she said, and that's what I'm going with.
Hmm.
There's no other reason for her to say that unless that's the case.
Hmm.
And if you don't believe me, go back and watch that video, and you'll hear her say it come right out her mouth. I didn't provoke her to say it. I didn't tell her to say it. She said it herself. And dealing with these parasites and everything else. If you watched that's why you have to watch, be here when the episode ends, and make sure you come to the Escaping from podcast at the end. We get all the information, right? We get all the information on that show, and we got last week we had Chloe, and she said we're not done with the worms yet. And she said it. She said, we're not done with these worms yet. She said it's not over with the worms. So that's don't think these worms is over. Something's going to
Yeah,
happen with these worms. She said it.
and
Ain't no
that it would not make any sense for that to just, oh, by the way, worms and we're done. Okay, it leads somewhere. I have enough, I have faith in the writers, and I'm saying writers as in where the show is going, that they won't just, show something and like never completely disregarded, like to throw us off. I don't think that's what they're doing. I wonder what they would do with the worms. It's like you have an organism, maybe it has to go through different stages. Like maybe it had to go from Martin to Boyd, from Boyd to the monster, and then it changed in some way. Maybe they will not be the same worms as we saw them, you know, swimming
Mhm.
inside the
Well,
humans that we know.
he said straight up that they were there to keep, they were keeping him alive longer than his life, right? That's why
Mm-hmm.
Martin was alive. It was because those worms were keeping him alive. So I think it's they found some extraterrestrial worms and parasites, and they're putting them in humans, and they're testing it. Maybe they're
Mm.
testing to see if they can get longevity out of life and everything. Maybe they're testing it to see if it cures certain diseases. Maybe they put it in something and put it in Elsa's sperm to see if it can make
Mm.
people have babies who aren't supposed to have babies. It's some type of stuff. You know what I mean? That's going on with these parasites that are there, that they're doing tests on people for. And
Most
maybe the other,
definitely.
and maybe the other test they put them in turn these creatures into the monsters that we see. And those are bots tests. And they turned
Yeah,
them into that.
that experiment part, like when you mention that again, again, here I am on about Donna, uh, like you said, experimenting on different things, and what's stopping them from experimenting, let's say getting Fatima, knowing that she cannot have children. And I'm sure it's not just people that they randomly fall into, they go there, those people are chosen. I wonder who chooses them, who picks them on the out. There must be somebody on the outside, scouting to okay, let's get these people, let's somehow arrange their life to get them here. It's not like they're disappearing at home,
Mhm.
going to throw out the garbage. They're actually driving, they're out there somewhere. It's usually an area where, I'm assuming they didn't say exactly what area, but there are trees, and there's a tree on a road. They're
Mhm.
hidden, so they're taking them, getting them to that location, wherever those locations are, getting them there. And in Fatima's case, she couldn't have children. And what, better way of experimenting, getting different kinds of subjects. You have, if Fatima who cannot get pregnant, do you have somebody who's going through a midlife crisis as far as the career changes, like Boyd, and retirement, or you had Sarah going through some stuff that her brother saved her from,
Well,
diseases, all that
mhm.
stuff. It's perfect experiment in a way, I would say.
No doubt about it. And listen, have we ever seen Victor in a short sleeve shirt?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, I can
Why?
imagine him, like, but the summer, it's always kind of like towards, not no fall, no winter. It's like spring, summertime, right?
I
Over
would
there.
think. I mean, we see, Kenny's always got a short sleeve shirt on. Everyone else,
Hmm.
Boyd wears Shaquille O'Neal's jacket, but he's the only one that you see and rocking anything like that. But I don't know about Victor. It could
Hmm.
be a style thing, so that like Death Shadow was saying, but it could be something else that's on this motherfucker's arms that he's covering up
Hmm.
there. I don't trust Victor. I don't trust
Yeah.
him. I really think it could be some type of Kaise Sose situation going
Hmm.
on here where he's playing the role and everything else, But we'll see when it all goes away and everything else.
And a great point here, Kizzy Cap says, Victor said that the leaves never fall until now. I kept wondering about that. We were talking about time possibly being frozen over there, them being either frozen in time, or things, but it kind of didn't make sense at the same time, because their wounds or anything, any injuries, they're healing quickly. So it looked like this time would be speeding up, but nobody's hair is extra, long, versus well, right now we're seeing Jade's hair is a little bit, like growing out there, but different. Maybe he was, like brushing it back a little bit back then. Um, but nobody's complaining about, let's say, waking up in the morning with, like, 2 inches of a beard for men, and women having to shave their legs more often than in real life, stuff like that. So I wonder if anybody else noticed. Like, we have not heard anything, like, let's say, between, let's say, mother and a daughter saying, I did notice I didn't get my period, or stuff like that. Is anybody saying any? They're not mentioning anything. And I don't know how much time has passed, but I'm assuming, if, let's say, the we have a family here with Julie and her mother. If, for example, time has frozen at that point before, maybe the kid would be like, maybe Julie would be like, Mom, I don't know what's happening, but my period is not here. Like, I don't know what happened here. We don't hear that. But I wonder, is maybe the time started moving with the either the bus coming,
Hmm.
or the Matthews coming, and Jade, if that moved something in the time um frame that we're in.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, that there could be something like that definitely going on. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boy and your lady in here. We have 300 people here rocking with us strong. So we should have at least 250 likes. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's
It only
free.
takes a moment to hit that thumbs
Thumbs
up.
up button. That's all you
Yeah.
gotta do. Come on, let's get that popping. RC, thank you for the super gestures. Why are they choosing the same people from different dimensions? Well, I think it has to do that these are the people that they need to run the experiment on, and they're looking for certain results. Like, all right, so when you run an experiment, now I'm not say you when you run an experiment, right?
Hmm.
From what I would think, you would want to have a control group
Yeah.
of the same people to see if you have a different person, then you can get a different result, right?
Hmm.
So if they keep trying the same experiments on the same people, and we got this person that happened, this is what happened to this person this time. This is what happened to this person. We did this a little bit different, and now this is how it affected that person. We did this a little bit different, and now this time the same person got affected this way, right? And you can go
Hmm.
down the line. It's an easier controlled experiment if you do the same exact people over and over again
Yeah.
than just having different people. Then it wouldn't be as good an experiment. So you would need to have the same people itself right there to make sure that that experiment is going correctly.
And perfect subject in a way, like, if they would be studying different dimensions. I mean, you have the same people, although, like, technically, like the twin studies, or extending that to different dimensional, like multi-dimensional studies, you have similar people as close as they could be. Technically, if you have a big variation, but, like, again, this is kind of like the geeky side of me, where I would love to see if this is actually that taking place, and if somebody creating the show knows enough about that to for it to make sense when they finally explain it. I would love for everything to add up properly.
Yeah, and listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. All you people out there in the chat and then watching later on and stuff, don't expect to get all these answers
Yeah.
this season. You're not going to get. You're going to get a certain answer, but you're going to get more questions. When it's, I don't want to hear people getting upset. This is not a mini series. This is a television
Yep.
series. So it's going to take years before you get all the answers that we want. We may not know if this is Fatima for a couple of years. They may not give us
Hmm.
that. You know what I mean? We have no idea. But you know what I mean? They're going to give us something. Like, they're going to solve the jade, what that symbol means this season. Like, that'll get solved. You can't have that milking for too long. So you definitely solve that going on and everything else. But there's still stuff that maybe the voice on the radio, you may solve that also. But there's gonna be a lot of questions still going on when you get up in there. I don't expect to meet the real big bad this season.
Hmm.
I don't expect to see them this season. May mention them, but wouldn't expect to see them until like season 3, maybe season 4, depending on how long it goes.
I would love, again, we only have a couple, what is it, 3 episodes left, 8, 9, and 10.
Mhm.
um Not again. I know I would love to know answers, but I know the fun is in the whole journey of it, of experiencing it. So I'm a binge watcher, but I love this kind of stuff too. Especially since we can talk about this. But I would like if I don't know if that's enough time though. There's all this talk about the mole. If we can get a either a hint and make us wonder, which would be I guess like the minimum of the mole reveal, which is still not revealed, but make us wonder like, did I just see what I just saw? Like, is it? Could it be? That would be a nice tease for next season. A next step after that would be for us to actually see somebody like stepping out of their, what do you call it, like breaking character, right? But just for us, not for anybody else, just for us. And like, whoa, that would be a big thing without others knowing. We're like, oh my god, I cannot wait until what happens next time. And then they drag it out where till maybe like the end of the next season. That's when the mole may be revealed in the next season.
Yeah, they could give you a
Yeah.
clue of like who the mole is
Mm,
this season, but not the people who the
yes.
show. Like the
Mm-hmm.
people in the show wouldn't know, but they can give us, the audience, the clue.
Yep.
Like now we know that this person is dirty,
Mhm.
but they don't know. They don't catch on to the end. But I think the fact that they brought it up this season means they should not solve that mystery this season.
Yeah. I'm okay with waiting, just like the tease, and then we have that time to. Is it? Could it be? Is it? Like, why? How? And then we can go back, like, wait a minute. Yeah, I saw this in that person. And yeah, that makes sense. Could it be? And then they can continue with that. That would be a great tease.
Yeah, when I travel that and everything. The food supply, and I said it from the beginning, is the most suspect thing for anybody. The fact that whoever is in control of food controls and people are eating. We heard Kenny's mom come on this channel in the Escaping From podcast on Sunday and say straight up that she's making mushroom tea. That's what she said, that tea's got mushrooms in it. Now, listen, people, I don't know what type people you are or whatever, but I've known that mushrooms have been used for hallucinogenics for years. People have taken mushrooms to trip since the beginning of time. That's the bottom line, right? And if you're tripping on mushrooms, it's just like acid. You see shit. I've seen people trip on acid and think the trees were chasing them and ran around screaming that the trees were
Oh,
chasing them.
goodness.
Dead ass. Like really thought the trees were chasing them and running around the hood with their hoodie up, thinking the trees were after them. Right. So listen, if you got if everyone's got some of that tea, some of that mushroom and them damn pancakes, you can see why motherfuckers be seeing shit. It's making it easy because it makes people more susceptible, right? The military
Yeah.
ran experiments of putting soldiers on LSD to make them better soldiers, to make them more used to killing, to make everyone do everything. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, he said that most of his stuff that he thought of when dealing with the computer and all that, he thought of when he was on acid. And
Wow.
he used to try to get Bill Gates to take acid because he thought it would have opened his mind up, and he refused to do it. Jimi Hendrix used to dip his bandana in acid, cut his forehead, and put the bandana on.
Oh, wow.
All right. And said he did his best playing of his music when he was on acid. Acid supposedly opens up your mind to use more power from your brain than you normally could use and everything. Now, listen, people saying that's a myth about Jimmy. You don't know that. You didn't live at that time, Johnny. You don't know. No one knows. We don't know. It's a myth about everything. So we don't know if it's true, and Jimmy ain't here to confirm it. But other people have confirmed that
Or
he
deny
did.
it.
So we're going to talk about it. And
Yeah.
that's it, So I'm just saying that the point I'm trying to make, and it's not Jimi Hendrix's dream, is that acid supposedly opens up in your mind and you could use more of your mind. What do they say? Human beings can only use, well, how much percent of
10,
their mind? Just a little bit,
10%.
10% of your mind, and 90% you can't even tap into. And supposedly that acid allows you to do that.
Hmm.
So what if that's what this experiment is about? Maybe they're trying to get people to open up their minds more, or trying to open up the human mind more by using these parasites from extraterrestrials,
Yeah.
things like that, So we'll see it, but everything else. Jackie C said, "Did you see the whistleblower that just testified to Congress that aliens are real?" I sure fuck did.
I did not. I need to. Somebody needs to send me that stuff. I live under a rock, or yeah, I'm just
I sure did. He came right
wow.
out and said it.
Hmm.
He went right to Congress and said it, that it's true, that they have captured aliens and everything else, and that's dead ass.
Hmm.
Said it. And people are calling him crazy. Of course they're going to call him crazy, but doesn't mean he's not right.
I mean, what better way of making it normal than kind of like feeding people over a couple of decades the possibility, and once you kind of like you hear it all the time, and it actually happens, like, oh yeah, they said it actually happened. Okay, it's not like a shock. It's a shock, but it's a different shock. It's like you're preparing your body. They're preparing us, if that's actually true. They would be prepared. It's actually making sense to prepare us for whatever it is that they want to reveal to us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it just makes sense. That would be the right way to do it, to not have a mass, or to reduce a panic, like a mass panic. Yeah.
No doubt about it. It could be, we don't know exactly how they get
Yeah.
to this point and everything else. And someone's saying that Ethan seen the boy in white before he even went to the diner. I don't know if that's true. I'm trying to think of the first encounter of when he sees the boy in white, when he's there.
That is at when he woke up at the colony house through the window.
Hmm.
He was in his PJs. I'm not sure if I think his father brought him his own PJs. And he's
Yeah.
like laying down in the bed and like looks outside the window that's very close to him, like kind of low.
Mhm.
There's a forest behind him, and that's when the boy's like, all creepily standing there.
Yeah, and we don't know what he's drinking while he was there.
Yeah.
He could have been. I mean, again, we heard Hannah when she came on the show say that the characters have conversations that are not shown on camera. She specifically said that they have conversations that are not shown on camera. So everything that we show is not everything that's happened. So he could have gotten a drink from that house. He couldn't have got some food from that house, an apple, anything. So we
Yeah.
don't know if he has anything in him or anything else like that.
And technically, any food they have could be spiked with something.
Oh yeah.
Animals can be injected with stuff. Just because there's the little, what do they have? Goats? I don't know if they have goat milks. I have not seen a cow there. Maybe there is a cow, milk and such. Although goat's milk is probably healthier. They can inject them with something.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Route 56, I guess we'll just call him that. Says, I hope that episode 8 isn't a filler because, come on, I love this show, but I can only take so much. I have to start revealing. No, I can't see them doing a filler episode at this point in the season. Every episode has to reveal something big from here on out. I said it before. It's just like a roller coaster. I thought it'd be a little bit sooner, but the first 5 episodes just got you to the summit. And now from 6 all the way to 10 has got to be the downhill road. When they came on the channel, Hannah, she said that episode 9 and 10 are one big episode.
Oh, wow.
She said it's just really, that's just one big episode, 9 and 10. It just merges together as one big episode. So that's the way that episode is going to go when it's all said and done. Over 300 people in the chat. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for your boy and your lady up in here. Don Tony Teflon, Elamar, Lady and Don podcast in the building. And listen, people asking about Phil the Issues Guy. Phil the Issues Guy, he works on Wednesday, so he can only come when he can. I think everyone should know that by now. And he works when he can. So he'll be here Saturday and he'll be here Sunday definitely. But he works on this day, and he has a band that he's in, and he has band practice sometimes. So that's why he's not able to get up in there. What up to my man?
We definitely all missed. Go ahead, Tony. Sorry.
No, that's what to my man Vince Harper. Go right ahead.
I was just going to say we all miss Phil, definitely. I always love watching, or if I'm not able to catch them live, Tony and Phil, it's my one of my favorite like times where I can do stuff and watch them or at least listen to them. So definitely I know what you mean, everyone. We definitely miss Phil.
No doubt, we're the best, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about it. I've heard other people, and I think they're okay, but it's me personally. I don't think there's no one better than us. So that's just the way I think that. Maybe they think they're better than they have every right to think, but me, in my opinion, we best.
Again,
And
like I said,
listen,
facts.
again, you can call in and we'll play it. It's a voicemail, so you can still call in 781-990-8509. You can call in when the stream's not even going on. You can call in anytime you want, and when Phil gets here, we'll play all of them. Every one of them, we always play them. So even if you just think of something throughout your day, and you want just call in, and we'll play it Saturday or we'll play it Sunday. But we'll always play them. So you can always go down there and call. So never not call. Just call in and leave it, and we'll definitely play it. There's
And
no
that's
doubt.
such a great interaction. I don't know. I have not. Well, I don't have time, and I don't watch other. Like this is where I spend my time, my extra free time, or not even free. I'm. This is where I make time for. I decided to do that in my life, to make time where I want to be, definitely. But that part where we can hear the conversations from the chat, where people actually do leave messages and they do leave text. I love that. I love that whole interaction where we can actually hear you. We can hear the name, or the voice that's assigned to the name that we see. It's a wonderful. I love that. I love that you and Phil have that option, especially when Phil is on. That's a great thing to have.
No doubt. I could do it right now if I wanted to do it, but I don't like doing it unless Phil's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can do it right now. I just it's me and Phil thing. I don't want to
Yep.
do it like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? Carla Way is right. If you international, you can send your voice notes directly to Phil the Issues Guys Gmail account. And when you do that on the Gmail account, we will have that. We will play it then and everything else real quick on there. So you can definitely do it. Don't be afraid to send those things in. We definitely will get those things popping for you without a shower. I dropped that whole thing by accident, that screen. And it's just the Don Tony Teflon in here rocking with you. Let me I just solo myself until she comes back. You can do that like that. There we go. We'll put it like that until Lamar gets back up on here and everything else. You get to rock with me, the Don Tony Teflon. Again, hit that thumbs up for your boy and your lady. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff and everything else. Let's go through anything else. Just don't call in saying nothing. Vince is saying, just don't call up saying nothing and breathing real heavy. I mean, you can. I mean, all those calls are screened, so it ain't like we don't check them before we play them, man. So you can try. People have tried to say some craziness. Yeah, people have left some craziness, but we're too smart for that. We have like a 4-second delay. So you can try. It's just ain't gonna happen when it's all said and done. You know what I mean? But you can definitely try and everything else. You can definitely try. Ain't no doubt about it and everything. All right, Elle's back. What is going on? You need to get your truck a drink, girl.
I tried to sneak one in. Just I realized I didn't have all the stuff I need for my mix here, so I'm stuck with this. What are you having today?
I'm just
Or
having
tonight?
a Mick Ultra. Again, we're in training right now, so I can't really drink, fattening stuff. So I can only drink a couple of things and everything. People asking, all right, let me get to that question because it came
Mhm.
quite. Who is the boy in white? I'm going to tell you right now, the boy in white is Victor.
Hmm.
It is. It is. It is. It is. I listen. There's two things that point to it. Number one, his name was Victor, and if you looked up IMDb or whatever it was, not in IMDb, the casting of it, you could see that it said Victor. It was the name of him. So
They did.
yeah, they did, and then they
What
pulled
do you
him
think
down.
about the casting, though?
Huh?
The casting, meaning like those two boys look different. Like the one in the one that comes out from the cellar and
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
No, listen. It says Victor. It says his name is Victor. That's just the bottom line.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now could it be that they're the only? I haven't seen anyone else with the same name on the cast, but that,
Hmm.
and they changed it after that, and then put the boy.
Ah. So they kind of like, oopsies, somebody forgot to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Because if it didn't
okay.
mean anything, they
Okay.
would. If it didn't mean anything, they would have just left it. But the fact that they changed it means
Yeah.
something. It means that they put a boo boo there. So yeah,
Mm.
now the boy in white is Victor. It's Victor. How is it Victor? You have to start asking yourself. So again. See, say it wasn't IMDb. It was just the Google. If you just Googled the cast of From, that's what came up. It had nothing to do with IMDb. So that's what it was and stuff. Johnny wants to say they changed it because it was wrong. No. It was right. Everything else was right,
Mm.
and this is the one thing they got wrong. And then they changed it to the boy in
Yeah.
white.
Hmm.
He has his name
Hmm.
is Victor, and then all of a sudden they changed it to the boy in white. No, it's Victor. It's him.
That happens even at the very, professional stuff. Like there are times and when I'm in meetings with clients, like at work, and somebody from the group internally, like we have a meeting with a client on Teams, and they're not supposed to use the chat. And if somebody's new, they will literally like write something in the chat that is a wrong chat, and then they take it back. But I'm like, everybody already saw that, so it's like you can take stuff back. It doesn't, and those who catch it, they see it anyway.
Yeah,
Taking it back means nothing at that point.
no, let's look. Let's go through it. Game of Thrones, right? When
Mm,
they
true.
came out, and they showed the Night King in the beginning, right? When it first came out, if you read when the credits that rolled up, it said Night King on it. I do
Mm,
believe it said Night King, and then they switched the credits to say the Night King, right?
uh,
So they switched it around. First it was Night King. Now, why would they do that? Well, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, then you know the Night King and everything else was somebody who was in the books that was never presented in the story yet. So the writer George R. R. Martin probably did not want to go and release that. So they tried to put a word in front of it to say, well, it's different.
mm.
This is not the
Yep.
same person, but it is
Right.
the same person. But they just got caught in it, and that's just what
Yep.
it is. It's the
Yep.
same situation with this. They put it down there, and then they said, "Oh shit, we just gave away something, and we shouldn't have done that." People like cat fight in the back.
Yeah, I cannot. They cannot be contained. My dog is nicely contained over there. He's very good, and those are very good at what they do, which is like chaos and mayhem.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, no, like those mistakes when they, I don't think they did it on purpose though. Like, would they do that on purpose to make people talk
No,
about the
it's
show
it's
a little
it's
bit
it's
more?
it's not on purpose. They fucked up. People fuck up. They're human beings, man. And it's not that they fucked up. They put it out there, and then because they probably told the actor or told, everyone knows the name of the
Mm,
character that you're playing, right? They told Fatima, you're playing Fatima. You're playing this. They probably told the boy
right.
in white, you're playing Victor. And they probably
Mm,
have it on the script. That's probably what it was labeled as on the script. So the person who put it to Google or whatever probably had a copy of the script and just copied the
yeah.
script down there of the characters in the script. And that's just what it is. And that's
Yep.
just the way it goes and stuff. So that's just that's just where it goes and stuff. So no, they messed up. It's him. It's him again. How do we talk about these situations? I think it's pretty easy. I've told you, we've already discussed alternate dimensions, alternate things that could be Victor. We've seen Victor as a child already, and
Yep.
now we've seen Victor grown up. If you're in an alternate universe, you don't have to look the same. You could look different. If you watch the Loki series, you've seen a bunch of
Mhm.
different Lokis, but they all didn't look like the same Loki. There was a female Loki. There was an older Loki, the
Look
elder.
completely different.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
boy Loki. There was a goddamn alligator Loki. But they were all Lokis, right? It
Yeah.
was all the same Loki. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So don't think that they can't be different Victors, not look the same, but still be him. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. You know what I mean? The experiments that they've done were all on children. If you look at the children that are going after
Mhm.
Tabitha, that those are the ones who are getting experimented on. The children. Those are the ones who got experiment. This version of Victor most likely got away. The boy in white. He could have escaped. He could have
Mhm.
been experiment. And look at the skills that he has. He has the teleportation of the
Yeah.
faraway tree without being in the faraway tree. He could just disappear and appear anytime he wants. So he has that technology
Hmm.
built into him somehow. And maybe that's why they can't catch him. When Sarah hears kill the boy and you could all be set free, there's only one person in this show who's been referred to as boy, and that's the boy in white. They never referred to Ethan as the boy. She just thought, well, this is the
Mhm.
boy because he's the youngest person here, so he's the one I'm supposed to kill. But there's only
Hmm.
one person here that's referred to as boy, and that is the boy in white.
In
No one
white.
is
Yeah.
referred to as boy, and it said kill the boy. So that's probably who should say. Maybe if you kill Victor, you kill the boy in white.
Do you think like because there are no other children there, would like the town probably would have said something that the children died, like, oh, this person's child died, or this person's child died. What if they're being told to kill off the kids? Like all the kids have to be dead, especially seeing those children being dead.
I think they're
Mm,
dead and they're coming back in the end to Tabitha and everything.
mm.
I could let me see. Let me see if I can find that picture real quick of that thing, and I'll show it to you right now. I know I have it in my phone because I screenshot it because I knew they were going to change it. So I said, let me screenshot this motherfucker because I know how they act, and they sure did change
Mm.
that shit. Let me see if I can find it real quick, but I definitely have it without a shadow of a doubt. And Lamar is going to hold down all of you people and keep you busy while I look for this.
Ah, see, Tony, when you leave me to the chat, I'll be talking about Jana being the mole.
Go right ahead. Now, Luna Cascade has become a member. It took you this long, Luna, to be a member? Jeez. I thought you'd been a member, girl. But thank you so much.
I think memberships might be aren't they granted sometimes for a month or so? So some people who are granted memberships,
They
I
are.
guess maybe it expires for some of them. Now again, for those who are members, I wonder, do you get a notification? Let's say that hey, your membership is coming up, like your renewal. Definitely. So that way, maybe you can catch that before it expires, and you can sign up for sure. Hmm.
And we'll have some special things for members at the con. I promise. We'll have something special for you at the con for being a member.
Again, a year is quite time away. However, with all the, time flies
It
so
comes
it's
faster
it's
than you
it's
think.
exactly faster than you think. So definitely for those who are thinking about that, do make your plans. Like Tony said, did you say June or July? June, right?
It'll be June.
June. Yep. So yeah, like a year.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm going way too
It's gonna
far.
fly by.
It
Gonna fly
it
by.
really will. It'll be here before you know. I know I saw it.
Wolf Spear says photos with LMR. I am not photogenic at all.
As far as
So
the LMI, is that what you get for being a member of my channel? Take a
I'm
picture
sorry,
with
what?
LMR. That's what he's saying. To be a member of my channel, you get to take a picture with LMR.
It says photos with Elmar. Knowing that there will be actors there, oh my gosh, that's so amazing to have photos with them, to have that opportunity. But no, I'm not a photogenic, and I do hate photos. However, I have taken all kinds of, like a daytime, evening time photos with friends and people I met at different cons. So definitely not opposed to that, for sure. And again, very exciting to know that. Um, uh, do we know when they'll be renewing? If they'll be renewing, I mean,
Well,
not if. I mean, there are. I mean, I will not. think or entertain a thought that they are not renewing for season 3. But do
Uh,
we know how long it took them to renew to let us know for season 2?
I don't. I'm trying to see what it's saying.
Yeah. I was I'm hoping that news of season 3 will be shortly after season 2 ends, that we won't have to wait too
It
long.
wasn't too long. I remember it took a
Mhm.
second. I mean, it took long enough that I was able to do a video about it when they got it out. But I would think it would probably be quicker. I've heard that it was out there. It's a screenshot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think here it is right here.
Oh, and we have AK in the chat. Hey, AK, long time no see.
Can I share this picture?
So the picture that you're looking for, is that a specific one that was released, or is it something that somebody sent to you?
It's the one that they put out there.
Oh.
It's the one that they took down on
Oh.
Google that had the names of
I was
everybody.
going to look for, but in that case, definitely. If it's taken down, then no.
No, it's gone. I have it. I
It's
just put it
gone,
on
gone.
there. Let me see. Let me
Okay.
go find it real quick. I'll pull it up. People think I'm lying, like it was IMBD. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. I should have it here. Hmm. Save image. There's some pictures. And put it in the photo folder. Take the photos.
And this is what our friends here know, that if you find something, you're not gonna be like, oh, let's just wait until next time. You're on it the same day. There's no waiting. There's
No,
no, forgetting or waiting a week or a couple days. You're looking for, you're
no,
gonna
I'm not here.
dissect it right now, like that autopsy, like
I'm not
just
here to
getting
play.
right there
I'm not
into
here
it.
to play with nobody. I'm gonna tell you. If I tell you this is what it is, what it is. Where is it? Let's see if we can find it. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and then I'll pull it up. It should be in this folder now. I don't know if I have to refresh the folder. No, that's not it. Let me shut the folder. Is it here?
I'm glad that there are no issues with the connection. So that's
So
great. I
far,
was
I mean, it's a little laggy, but not to that point. These are all my thumbnails. Oh, wait, so wait a minute.
Susan says that season 3 is scheduled to start filming in July.
That's not
Hmm.
been
Not confirmed yet.
not
Not
confirmed
confirmed.
by anyone that we could see. Right.
And technically, they have to. I'm assuming if they're looking at the trees, because they're showing the whole progression, right? Like they're talking about the trees turning, the leaves turning different colors and such. They would have to pick a time for filming. If they're gonna film, they have to film, I guess, around the time where the trees are gonna do their thing, like the progression of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they have to make a decision sooner than later, or maybe pick a time, because moving that set, I don't know exactly where exactly that set is. It's in Canada somewhere, right? So I'm assuming
Uh-huh.
they have to pick a time where the trees are matching whatever they were doing with what we're seeing right now, like pick up, a year after, with progression of the colors.
Yep. You could see right here in this picture that was taken down. This is not IMDb. This is Google.
Hmm.
And you can see right
There
on
we
top,
go.
right there on top, you have Victor as Scott and then
Hmm.
Vox as Victor. Vox plays the boy in white,
Well, well, well.
and Victor is right here, and another Victor right here. Everybody else is right. There's Trudy. This is from
Hmm.
season 1. Now, remember, this is not season 2. This is from season 1. It's Kenny. It's Pega Fatima. It's Trudy, Jade, Ellis, Victor.
Huh.
Everyone's right. Now, we're all just going to say, oh, they got this one wrong. This is the one they
Mm.
got wrong. They ain't get this wrong. This is
Right?
right. This is right.
So who does it says it's not like wiki or something like that, right? IMBD or stuff like
No, this
that.
is on Google. This is Google.
Google.
This is straight Google. If you Googled it, this is
Mm.
what popped up. It had nothing to do with IMBD or anything
What
else.
is it now? Like if you look up Vox Smith, does it say who he plays
Yeah,
or is
it
it
says now.
still
Now it says the boy in white.
Boy in White?
Yeah,
Okay.
now it says the boy in white.
Okay. Hmm.
So I mean, look, if you guys want to Wolfspear want to say, oh, Google never lies, and yeah, listen, y'all want to whatever. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. All right, I'm just showing you what it says. So
Hmm.
you could take it for a grain of salt, or you could just go with it, or you can just keep pulling the ostrich and putting your head in the sand and thinking what you want. But to me, when they show me something, I go by what they show. My father used
Hmm.
to always say to me. My father said a lot of things, but one of his saying was, "If someone shows you who they are, believe them." All right,
Mm.
always tell me. Anyone shows you who they are, believe them. And if someone
Yeah.
shows you constantly who they are, it's time to start believing that's who they are. So listen, when they show me something,
Hmm.
I'm believing them. If this was not something big to them, they would not have changed the name.
Yeah.
They went there and changed the name because they
Hmm.
fucked up. Sometimes the people fuck up, and they fucked up. That's all. It
Yeah.
happened, and everything else, and that's just the way it goes. So I mean, what do you want me to say? Everybody else is right, but they just happen to get this one kid's name wrong. Come on, man. You got to be what you
Mm.
got to do, man. You got to believe what you do and everything else. So,
And that kind of goes into I don't know if you are planning or you or
all right,
expanding on
wait,
any
one
theories.
second, one second, one second.
Mhm.
Did I say that my father made the phrase up? I didn't say that, right?
No, you just said that your father said it. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you didn't say that he came
I
up
did.
with it.
I didn't say he came up with it. Am I saying that he made the shit up? I'm just saying that was one of his sayings. That's all. And people gotta be act like my father. Like I'm trying to say my father messed things up. I didn't say that. All I said was that's one of my father's sayings. That's it.
Something that he lived by. Not
And
by,
that
but
was it.
one of the things that he lived by.
That's all.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, people up in the chat, you get a little testy now. A little bit too long. Let's take this super chat right
Mhm.
here. From now it's just John Henderson. And it says here, let's pull it up. Freeze up and stuff. Yeah, I said that Victor is the boy Sarah. What I said that Victor is the boy that Sarah was to kill. Did you? Well, I
Mhm.
you did say that. Then I agree with you 100%.
Mhm.
Again, I think she was just confused when it said kill the boy. There's only one person that we know as the boy that gets called boy in this whole show, and that's the boy in white. Maybe if you kill
Mhm.
Victor, you kill the boy in white. It could be a
And
situation
yeah.
that goes down like that.
I mean, with Boyd being kind of, whatever his issue or is that makes him the way he is right now. Is it something that he was born with, or the environment or the situation that he was in that made him that this way? But so didn't he when he said that he hasn't seen him in a long time, and now he's like when you see like he was talking to Ethan, when you see him next time, say that Victor says hi or something like that. Maybe it's been a while since Victor kind of like faced the child side of him, like when he was a child, like um he's a grown man now, but he has that approach to whatever his issues are like as if he's a buddy, the same age in a way, like Ethan is. So kind of that other side of him, um and killing him, I mean, yeah, definitely with all his drawings. Doesn't Didn't he say that he drew that stuff based on what happened, and this is kind of like to keep the memories, because like
Mhm.
people can forget stuff, but pictures are there to help him
Well,
remember. So
when we
he
had
saw a lot of stuff.
we did when we had the actor, we had Scott on the channel. he came on here and he said specifically that Victor doesn't know what he's seeing is real or is it fake.
Mm.
That's what he said, and that's what's going on with Victor. He said that's exactly the same thing that that Elgin said about himself. That he
Mm.
doesn't know what his dreams are real or fake and what he could remember. But
Yeah.
Scott said that about his character
Huh.
and everything.
So do you think
So
he lived through all that he drew? Because we see him drawing stuff after the cave, right? After the
mhm,
tunnels. He draws what he experienced there. Do you
mhm.
think he lived through all the stuff that he actually drew?
I think that other Victors have lived
Other
through it. Like when you
um,
see Victor and he says, I put these cars in this spot here.
mhm,
I don't know how the cars in front of him got there. That's because the same Victor, this is a different
mm,
Victor, put those cars up there
right.
and put them in there. You know, like all when you deal with like alternate universes, right? And things, it's always like a prime version of that character, like the one who started all of them, like the real person of that, and everyone else is just a clone or whatever, alternate reality.
Mm,
The boy in white could be the prime Victor. And if you kill that
mm,
prime Victor, it may wipe out all the other Victors.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Everybody else is just a spinoff. And maybe they're trying to keep bringing Victor back to try to reduplicate the experiment they had with the boy in white, and that's why they got everything like that.
hmm. That's a good I like that one too. Like you
Like,
get rid of the main one and everything else just falls.
yeah, and so kind of Night Kingish again, right? And you
Mm,
kill Night King, all the other White Walkers die. So
yeah.
yeah, Victor wasn't a part of the main cast in season one, but again, that could be from different reasons. That could be for monetary reasons. That could be like they were only allowed to put a certain amount of people on the main cast at the time because of money reasons. There's different reasons why they do that. I don't think he wasn't a main character in the show. I think that they just there was other reasons for them to do that. You know what I mean? What up to Brian? What's going on, man? And everything else. And what up to you and everything else. So yeah, that I mean, listen, this is what it is. It's not IMDb. This is Google search, that picture right there. That's what Google says. Now, again, you want to say Google ain't always right, you can. That's fine. But I'm saying this is what was on there. And now if you do the same search, you'll see the same pictures. And Vox Smith will now be known as the boy in white and not Victor. But in season one, he was known as Victor. Do with it as you want. It's up
Yep.
to you. You know, and I'm not one of these people. YouTubers gonna come here and say, I figured this whole shit out, and they fucked up. That's how I figured it out.
It's just, you were quick with taking a screenshot of it.
I took it because I knew they were gonna change it. I knew it. I said, "Uh-oh, they fucked up. Let me screenshot this
But
fucking."
it makes it so much, fun for us because if they did not put that there by whatever reason they put it there, we would not have this discussion, so I love
Mhm.
that. Whoever messed up or did it on purpose to so-called mess up, I love that
But again,
because we can
listen.
chat.
It depends how these people write the show.
Mhm.
Could they be people who are gardeners, right? They write it as they go along. To me, you have to have the ending already planned out. So I can't see them changing that. That seems like too big of a point to change.
Yeah.
I think that's just the way it's got to go. They have no choice but to keep rocking like that. You know what I mean? But don't think these motherfuckers won't change on the fly. Again, we'll bring it to Game of Thrones. Dan and Dave specifically said that they changed the ending and they said they didn't have Kit Harington, Jon Snow fight the Night King because they thought that it was too predictable. So
Hmm.
they went with Arya killing him. That was their thing. They
Okay.
changed it to that. That was not the
Mm.
story that they were given. They said that they thought it was too predictable, so they went with Arya killing the Night King. So that's just the way it
I
is.
just I just hope that whatever it may as it gets closer to the end, and I hope we're not anywhere close to an end since we're just starting with that. I hope that the writers will not just put it as a twist that is completely nonsensical. Like it doesn't make any sense just to make it, different, out of nowhere. I really hope whatever it is, it's going to make sense. And even though somebody might have guessed it based on the clues they left, I hope they leave it to be whatever they come up with. And I hope it's actually thought out, that it's, thoroughly thought out, that it makes all kinds of sense
It is
eventually
Johnny.
at the end.
It is Johnny trying to rile me up and saying, "As Tony, weren't you wrong about most of your Game of Thrones?" That is the craziest
No.
question I even heard. I'm not even gonna. I'm
I
not
think
even.
it's like complete opposite of that, but
It,
okay.
it really is, but I think he's
Okay.
just trying to make it funny because everyone knows the truth about it. But I'm not even going to say it. There's
Mhm.
nothing I didn't. I got a couple of things wrong, but I think I just got everything right in that damn
Mhm.
show.
Years ahead of time.
Yeah, years. I didn't just
Yeah.
get it right like the same year. I got shit right 4 years, 5 years before they showed it on TV. I got shit right on that. So not just
Videos
one,
are out
two
there.
things. Yeah, the videos there.
Original ones.
Go watch it. You can leave what you want. Go
Yeah.
watch the videos. You'll see it out there and everything else. But I'm here talking about From right now. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're here dealing with. And we'll be here for what, 8, 9 more minutes right now. And
Mhm.
for these last 8, 9 minutes, because we'll wrap it up in 2 hours
Mhm.
here. We will take we got another super chat here. Omar Griffin, thank you. First show that has had me stumped. Well, thank you for coming on here. Hopefully we can clear some of that up for you and everything else. And thank you for rocking with us. Now, all right, ask us anything. Really ask me. Well, Elamar doesn't have to answer.
Tony, you said anything. What? Like we have 10 minutes.
You have 10,
No.
you have 9, you have 8 minutes to ask the Don anything you want to know, and I'll answer it for you. Right now, you could ask Elamar, but she doesn't have to answer. I'm the only one who has to answer. So if you have it, no, but I plan on joining. Oh, yeah, join the Discord, the escaping from Discord, and I will keep you updated on everything that goes on the convention and everything else like that. We'll do all updates there. Obviously, we will do updates here on the channel and everything else. It'll be on my channel, be on Phil's channel. Every time we have an update, we'll definitely do that. And then we'll do. And then we will, we'll have it going. What does the title "From" mean? It's hard to say what "From" means. I would just say because in other countries it's called origin, right? So it's hard to make it an acronym anagram of what it is. From could mean from here, could mean from space, from not here. There's too many things to think of. Me personally, especially when other country, it is called origin. So,
Mhm.
what do you think, Elmar?
I think in the first season I was doing the little, like the from morph thing. Obviously, that's spelled differently,
Mm-hmm.
but when you take it backwards, I'm like, oh, what if it's morph? With a ph and all that stuff taken out. Then when we saw the year on what was it, the stairs or somewhere there, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, when are you from? And then I'm like, hmm, where are you from? Since there was a map, and Tony added to the whole thing where and when, what dimension you're from. And then I think there was one other theory which I completely forgot, where the from is, as in yeah, that one I forgot. I know there's another one that I heard somewhere. So the from is so all over the place, which makes it interesting. That is what I love, because it's always going to be debated. Hopefully, at some point, we won't have a debate, that we will actually be given answers to that.
No doubt. You got a super chat from LMR. She says, I just came out here to support the homies. I said from LMR. We got from AK. We got a super chat from AK. Said, I just came out here to support the homies. I haven't watched From yet. I haven't watched From yet. Stay up, LMR and Tone. Thank you so much. You stay up. You do the same.
Thank
You
you. Okay.
had some issues in your health and all that. Hope everything is doing much better for you and stuff. I'm gonna still be watching y'all do your trivia shows from time to time and stuff, all that. So
Tony,
that,
you had some questions earlier too, like more
uh,
personal questions. I think there are a couple.
who? Me?
Just early, I think it said something about occupation. Somebody complimented my shirt. Thank you. I love it. I actually DIY'd it. It was just a thing, and I just decided to put some shiny stuff because I do love sparkle stuff.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Emily, thank you again. She says on episode 4 at 2 minutes and 36 seconds, there is a cursive alphabet on the clinic wall missing the letters Victor.
Hmm.
Well, let's go back. Anyone go check that out, episode
Hmm.
4, and see what that is.
4.
And missing, I mean, that can't not be a coincidence if that is the
Hmm.
case. And that is a good get. I mean, if you're saying the exact episode and time,
Hmm.
then I'm sure that that is 100% the case.
Yeah, that's so cool. So he took the letters out to make his own name.
I don't think he did it. I think the showrunners did it.
Hmm.
The showrunners did that on
Hmm.
purpose. They do things like that on purpose without a shadow of a
Yeah.
doubt. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I agree. They definitely did. Everything I tell everybody, anything that you see on there, they built this from the ground up, the whole set.
Hmm.
Donna confirmed it and everything else. So anything you see missing, anything that you see in there, it's all put there for a reason. There's nothing that's just accidentally there. They did it all and everything else. So that's just what it is and stuff. So never doubt that and everything else. Does anyone else knows that the milkman monster looks like Krista from the photo holding a book? I have to look at him, but I could see why you would say that just thinking about it real quick. But I have to truly look, and then I would say let's see what the actor is playing. If there's two different actors playing that person, if it's the same actor, they would have to show that. So we could check that out. But again, it could be the same person. It could be an altered dimension of this person. Could be Christopher, could be the milkman, and everything else. So let's don't ever think that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Everything else, you know what I mean? People say baby girl says it's called from because the town folk were born in the town and don't know and have just been returned for experiments. I don't know about how many people were actually born in this town. I don't even know if anyone was born in this town. This town was just placed here to make people think it was a town. And there really is no town at all. It's just a set. It could be a Truman Show situation.
Yeah.
It could just be all that and everything else.
The map looks so strange in that office where they have I did see maps like that where the Canada and Mexico is completely, like grayed out or like out there in the background, but it does look strange that there is a map that US looks like it's like floating. Like it's one of the children. I think I had a big poster like that, like not a poster, but it was more like a painting of the US where it looked like the US was just like floating out there in the ocean. It was more artistic. It's not, meant to be accurate, but that map reminds me of that huge painting that I had of just the US floating out there. And it is so curious that nobody else outside of the US is included in all that stuff. So that's also interesting. It's just within the borders, and once they cross the border, there they are.
The milkman is someone's secret daddy. It's always the milkman. It used to be back in the day. It was always the milkman. And I mean, I'll be honest, I'm old enough to remember.
Do you remember Milkmans? I do remember Milkmans.
I remember getting milk so in Queens. I lived in an apartment. We would have like a silver can outside.
Yeah, the door, right?
Right in front of the door,
Yeah.
and the milkman would come and put glass bottles of milk. It was glass bottles. And
with like a thick aluminum cap, was it?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
know how it was here in Poland where I grew up. We had a milk and we had like a smaller one for like cream, like sour cream, but it was like liquidy, like a liquid stuff. And it was, fresh every day. And there was a milkman.
Yeah, we had an aluminum can right outside of our door, and everyone had one, and the milk would come right there, and they drop it right off there in the glass bottles. I remember
They did
that.
not look like that guy where I grew up. They look different. I don't know how it was here, but yeah, there was a milkman.
Yeah, I don't remember costumes. I just remember the getting dropped off there and everything else. So and listen, that was the best milk you can get was in those bottles. This milk
Fresh.
now doesn't taste like that, and it doesn't taste the same. And it's just the bottom line. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, but I do remember crystal clear. I remember that. You know what I mean? Like I mean, in my house right now, I'm a very nostalgic person. And like in my house, I have video games in my house. Like I have old school video games. Like I have Dragon's Lair. and I have Space Ace, and I have Tron, and I have
Oh.
Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man. I have the full cabinets inside of my house. I have all that stuff in there because
So
I'm very
maybe yeah,
nostalgic. I remember as a child going to the arcade and playing these games.
yeah.
So I have those games in my house now as a grown ass man. So if I ever want to play it again, or just feel like a kid again, I can go on there and play it. And
Some people probably would wanna visit that, From Village because it's maybe, like, their times, like, 50s or something, I don't know anyone from that time, I guess, that would wanna go back then, but that's, like, a perfect time capsule, right? Even the dish, like, casserole, tiny casserole dish that I saw, like, it was white with, like, blue flour on it, I'm like, "Wow, I know that from somewhere."
oh yeah,
Nostalgia.
listen, y'all people crib. My crib is. I'm a single man, so like I have a my crib is a bachelor pad. I have a pool table in my house. Like I have my crib is not like I'm not eating like Thanksgiving dinners here. It's not set up for that. My crib is set up for that. I got a bar, bar. I got video games. I got a pool table. My crib is set up for hanging. You know what I mean? But the
That's
funny thing is, I don't let no one come over.
Tony, that is such a strange thing. Like my house, like my dining room, the table expands to like 12 people. I don't want anybody in my house anymore. So it's like I put all the chairs up in the attic. Like, yeah, I can technically entertain like 12 people at a table. I have 12 chairs if I really wanted to. I don't want nobody in my house. Like, sorry. Just a big
No,
table.
that's the way it was with me when I first had got to this place. It was like I had a big table and I had all these things. And I was like, who the fuck is coming over here to eat? No one. I said, so I can just
Oh,
get a
yeah.
little breakfast nook, stick that over here, get rid of this table, throw a pool table up in this bitch, and there we go. You know what I mean? We could just have that stuff and just go and everything else. And that's just what it was and stuff. People are talking about N64 Gold now is the first game where you could play 4 players and fight. It started the whole first person shooter genre is
Mm.
N64 Gold now. It wouldn't all the Black Ops, all this other games and people fighting each other would not have happened if it wasn't for N64 GoldenEye. And I bust everybody's ass in that GoldenEye. I was the greatest GoldenEye player of all time. You know what I mean? So, but that's what started that whole genre was the N64 GoldenEye because that was the only system that you could plug 4 controllers in. It's the first one that you could do that. I don't think you could still can't do that. But they gave you the
Mm.
option to put 4 players in there and stuff like that. 4 player Pong is not the same as 4 player shooting people up and having 4 separate boxes. It's a different situation. 4 player Pong. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about NBA Jam was a 4 player game. You could play 4 players on that game and everything else. I'm just saying for a first person shooter and everything else, that was the first one that you could do that with 4 players and stuff. No doubt on the console, that was the first one you could do it. Again, N64 was the only one it had 4 plugs that you could put it in there and stuff. So Nintendo was the inventor of everything. They invented the Rumble Pack or the Rumble thing. It used to be called the Rumble Pack that went in the N64, and you stick it in there and it made it rumble and all that. They didn't have that, no controllers before that and everything. And they started that. Mario 64 was the first open world game that ever
Mm.
came out where you can just walk around the whole world in 3D and do all that. And it was them who did that, and Nintendo set that off and everything else. And all these other games, that you see right now with The Witcher and all this, that's all because of that N64 Mario. That's all because of that. So I know everything about video games. I'm a video game historian. I own just about every console as a child, from the Odyssey machine and television 2, Atari 5200, the Atom computer, the Commodore 64 computer. There was a system called Vectrex. I had that. It was a stayed on itself. I had all those systems growing up.
Wow.
And not the ColecoVision with the Atari expansion. And I didn't just have it because of me. I had it because my father was a big video game person.
Mhm.
So he bought them shits for himself and acted like it was for us. So my mother didn't say
Ah.
that to him, but it was really just for him.
Best way.
He used to take us to the arcade so he could go play asteroids all the time. And that's what he would do. He would just give us $10 of coins a piece, and then he
To
sit
go
there
play.
playing asteroids and centipede
Yeah.
all day, and then we would just go off and stuff like that, doing whatever we want. But it was all for him. He liked playing video games. Then he got old. He started playing like Leisure Suit Larry and all these everything else, and all that. I had the Sega Master System, which was the first Sega system that come out. It was called the Sega Master System, and it took little floppy disk cards, and it
Mhm.
took regular cartridges on both of them and stuff. And then Atlas Kid and Miracle World was their big game that had came out. They couldn't really hang. And then the Sega Genesis, they were really a bit ahead of their time, Sega, because they had it with the disk drive and everything else. And everything else would have came later on, but people weren't ready for that disc at that time when they came out. But they were onto it first and
Mhm.
everything else. But they just were just too ahead of their time with it coming out. People weren't ready for it when they came out with it and everything else.
I do miss actually not keeping up with the games after high school. When I started college, I kind of like different life kind of happened, and I love gaming. Before then, that was a long time ago, and then it just stopped. I was great before, and then when I tried some years ago, I realized I could not even walk straight in the game, so I just gave up. I
Let
do
me
miss gaming. I do miss gaming
um,
though.
let me get a shout out to Omar Griffin, who just sent me another super chat. He said Southside Sufton Boulevard. Let me tell you about Southside Sufton Boulevard in Queens down there in Jamaica. And I'm very familiar with the area. And you can ask him if he's still up in the chat. You ask him. Only thing that was going on in that motherfucker, I used to bring shit down there to Sufton Boulevard to get porn. That's all it was. It was just a full strip of porn shops. And I'm telling you, I was terrible when I was a child. And I apologize for anything, but we did a lot of thievery when we were young,
Mm.
and we would just go to Sufton Boulevard. And you could pawn your mother's ass there if you wanted to. I mean, they took everything. they took everything on something. It didn't matter what it was. You could bring it right down there to Sufton Boulevard, and they would take that. No question.
Hmm.
I mean, when I look at it, you know what I mean? We were children, and we would go in there with a massive amount of jewelry, and they would give you
Oh my
$10 a penny
goodness.
weight or whatever. They didn't ask no questions. Here's your money, kid. Get the fuck out. Come on. And that's just the way it was.
Whew.
That's just the way it was, and everything else down there at Sufton Boulevard. But that's just Sufton Boulevard. I know that's on Jamaica Avenue over there. It was just a pawn shop. Yeah, that's just what you did down there. You just pawn shit off. And then if you keep going down the block and something is on your right hand side, you head down. Then you get past. There was a Wendy's on the corner right there, and then you would pass Wendy's. There'd be a couple of pawn shops, and then you have Gertz Mall on the right hand side was Gertz Mall, and then you pass Gertz Mall, and then on the left hand side you get to the strip, and they would have these like statues, silver statues with their arms out, and it was an all red brick road, and you make a left right there, and then when you made that left, then the Coliseum was right there, and the Coliseum was like if you went on the second floor of the Coliseum, LMR, it was just all
Mm.
books of gold. Like it was
Oh
all,
wow.
it was so much gold. You never seen so much gold in your life. Never seen so. It's all gold. Every booth, gold, gold, gold. So everything, anything you want. Gold fronts, 3-finger rings, blah blah. All it did was sell gold down there and
Wow.
everything else down there and all that. But when I take people to the city, like when I can't think of her name when Anne came down from Anne from French and Sweet YFT. When she
Mhm.
came down to the city, I took her to Jamaica Avenue and brought her something down there. Walked through Jamaica Avenue and brought her and all that. And if you go back to Parsons, people are talking about Parsons over there. Parsons, right there. If you go up on Parsons over there in Jamaica, that's where Hillcrest High School is right there. On the left of Hillcrest High School was the Miracles Barbershop over there. And if you go down the street over to 164th Street, then that's when you had Jamaica High School and you had Thomas Edison High School right there. And in Jamaica High School, they had a pond called Goose Pond. And motherfuckers would try to take you and throw your ass in Goose Pond. I've
Mm.
seen people drop out of school because they were so embarrassed because they got thrown in Goose
Oh
Pond.
my god.
But that's the whole thing over there. So anyone who's thinking that Don ain't from Queens, even though I got it tattooed on my arm, You know what I mean? And y'all from there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's just what it is. That's just the way it goes and all that. And my mom used to work in Queens General Hospital, which is right down the block from Union Turnpike. I lived on 164 on like Jewel Avenue, like right down there is where I grew up and stuff. So that's what all that is. But all right, we've been here a little bit over. Let's get out of here. I had a little go around the world with Tony, where I'm from, and all that good stuff and everything. Next time we'll talk about where Ellen Mars in Poland. We'll talk about how it worked out there for her.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole crazy stories, but yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. Let's take this last super chat right here from Larry, right up here, real quick. And he says, let go on the screen. He says, Queens represent. What do you guys think about Elgin? I'm pretty suspicious. He didn't try to stop the bus like he just woke up from a random dream. It's like he knows the place in another way. Much love. What do you think about Elgin? In fact, listen, Elgin will be on this Sunday on the Escaping From podcast. He'll be on live with me, Phil. So call up and ask him your goddamn self. That's what I'm saying. He's going to be there rocking with us. You have the opportunity to ask him for yourself. But besides that, we'll answer this question. What do you think about Elgin? Do you think that he's just, what's going on with him? Is he a mole or something else?
So, when I first saw him, I thought, waking up and having his reaction, my first reaction to him, not even a thought, it was like like it hit me as if he is somebody who had known about this place, but somehow his coworkers have thrown him into this place. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be here. It's like, the scientist who is, I'm just saying, like, scientist loosely, who is, you know, in, part of the experiment group, like not group, but the scientist group looking at the experiment. And then he's like, he's thrown in there. That was my first thought, like, oopsies, like, why would somebody throw him in there without his knowledge? What did he do to be thrown into this? And how is it gonna mix stuff up? But then when he kind of like, zipped it, like, I'm not saying anything. I was wondering if he actually knows and not like everything and he's just keeping it to himself. Um, so I don't know why he would know all this about like in a dream before getting there. I don't know of anyone, but we have not met anyone, that much because we know only about the characters we know of,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't talk. Nobody talks over there. It's so random to actually have a conversation about what's actually happening. Maybe somebody experienced it while getting there. Maybe somebody had a dream of it before getting there. It's just very strange that he would literally wake up at the moment of when they crossed it and he had a dream about it. That is off. That was very off for me.
Yeah, the number one thing I would say that's off is he said, I'm not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knew like where they were at, and he knew he specifically.
Yep.
It wasn't we aren't supposed to be, it's me, motherfucker. Why am I here? Why did y'all motherfuckers put me in this shit? I ain't supposed to be up in this shit. You know what I mean? And everything else. Like I ain't supposed to be up in here. And all that. So that is what was suspect about it.
Yep.
To me, him saying that, like, why am I here? Again, LMR talked about a little bit. We talked about a little bit earlier about, someone could be there that wasn't supposed to be there. Maybe he got mad at the bosses, and the bosses is like, "Oh, you want to fuck around? You want to quit? Here you go, get your ass."
Right, exactly. Like somebody like, "Oh no, I'm not supposed to like get in there. Now you're part of it."
Now you're in there, but
right.
Again, it's they said that he said that he doesn't know what's a dream and what's reality. I think it's just that he's been there before as an alternate universe and he's remembering. Again, we talked about alternate universe dreams and everything else. I think it's a situation like that and he's remembering what's going on and stuff. So that's what I think is going on and everything else. But yeah, we'll see exactly what's going on. Again, he'll be here this Sunday, 10 p.m., and you'll have a chance to ask him yourself. And I promise you, the first thing I'm going to ask him about is this goddamn potato sack. Guarantee it. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Dude, what's good with that potato sack, bro? You representing, Tony Teflon on this show, bro. You can't be rocking no potato sack in the shower, man. That's not the way we do it. I want to know who told him to do that shit. God damn it.
Yeah.
And everything. All right, people. We are out of here. All right, we are out of here. Thank you for everyone out here rocking with us. Thank you for all. No, Elgin is not Fatima and Elsa's son. No, she's not. That crazy theory reminds me of Tyrion being Jon Snow and Daenerys' son. It's something crazy that's like that.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and as always, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace.